Hello, my name is Beelzebub Bixby III, and this is my alchemical familiar, Jam Jam.
Hello, everyone.
Yes. Now, did you know that the Danger Club podcast has a Patreon? And that has exclusive content and rewards for all of you daredevils. You can hear more from me if you like. You'd like that, wouldn't you? Yes? Then head on down to the Danger Club podcast Patreon. Jam Jam, away!
Previously on the Danger Club podcast.
I can summon the circle, but I need your help.
It's only been 1 hour with my bestest friend.
How long will you be staying with us?
Until we get to the end of this menu, at least. Do you have yak's milk, yeah?
Madam, we have the yak!
Drinky.
See, Barbara, this is why you should encourage speaking to Fulton.
Mackenzie's gone. You don't have a few gold, do you?
You okay, Baba?
Yeah, old friend.
No, we are in space.
The adventure continues now.
Hey, Drum, man.
Yeah, what's happening? What's going on, Colin?
Oh, bro, you know, I don't remember what episode this was, but it was about 6, maybe 10 episodes ago. I brought up a rapper called Tim Dog. Do you remember this?
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And you said, he's got a really high voice. And I was like, no, he's got a really, really low voice. Now, I was listening to a hip-hop playlist the other day, right?
Yeah.
And I looked down to see who this rapper was who had quite a high voice, and it said Tim Dog. And I was like, no, this is not Tim Dog, right? I looked it up, and there's a couple of playlists where this song by a guy called Original Flavor, and it's called Can I Get Open?
I love that tune. That's one of my favourite tunes of all time. Yeah,
right. Okay, that's probably the song that you've heard, and it's been on a couple of playlists under the name of Tim Dog, but it's actually by a guy called Original Flavor.
Right, okay. Well, Original Flavor are a band, right?
A band, sorry, yeah. By a band called Original Flavor.
They're a threesome, man, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So, that is where maybe the confusion has come from.
Okay, yeah, because it's possible I might have thought that Tim Dog was part of Original Flavor, because he's got the wicka, like that business, it's so cool. It's some of the best rapping you can possibly hear. Original Flavor, that whole album, Original Flavor by Original Flavor, is just amazing. I love it so much.
Yeah, I was so confused. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So, I immediately thought this might be why Drum picked that up on a thing there. Anyway,
could well be, man. Yeah.
So there you go. I just thought I'd bring that up. Oh, and I also found out that Tim Dog, I didn't know this, is deceased. So rest in peace to Tim Dog.
Oh, rest in peace, Tim Dog. Yeah, shit.
Yeah. This episode dedicated to the memory of Timothy Dog. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Danger Club podcast.
I kind of felt like I was a mate sort of asleep on the back seat while Colin and Drum had a conversation I was sort of half listening to and didn't really understand in the front seat, but that was great.
Yeah. That should be on Danger Recall.
I should have saved it, but there you go. I felt like apologies were necessary because at the time I was like, no, Drum, that's not right. He sounds like this. And then I did an impression of Tim Dog. Which, if you do look, it sounds just
conversations about music. There you go. There's another thing to miss. I mean, I've had the exact same conversation twice about why grime is good music with a guy called Skaggy, who I have met at after parties precisely twice, and have had the exact we had the conversation once, and then we met again and started having the same conversation, and he suddenly stopped and was like, wait, have we said this before? And I was like, we have, but I can't remember any of it. So say it again. I want to appreciate grime for the first time, a second time.
When is deja vu not deja vu? When you're at a party talking to a guy. Yeah, I remember it. Do you know what's weird about that? Right. So me and Scott were working at a party. I shan't say where. And just a while ago. And you know that scene in Spaced where they're like super high in the club and they go like, you know what we should do? We should get our own place with all our mates, and then we should build a club and in the basement, and we have all our mates have our own little club. Yeah. And that's a conversation that a lot of us have had, right? We all go like, oh my god, that's so spot on. I've had that exact and when we were at this party, this woman who we were working for, she was exceedingly rich, and she did have a huge basement, and she said, oh, do you know what? I think I'm just going to turn the basement into a big club so I can have all my friends on. I was like, oh my God. But the thing is, she could actually do it, man. Like, she could, like, she almost already does it. She throws parties on the reg, man. Like, anyway, that was crazy. It
was insane. She had an entire dressing room, but like an actual dressing room. Like, you know, when you've got like a room, she had a dressing room. It was an actual room that she had for dressing in. It had like lamp lights and everything.
There were walls of shoes, and then another wall of like sort of mirrors and dresses, and then it had like an island in the middle, right? You know, like you get an island in a kitchen, in a really super badass kitchen, an island for chopping stuff on and stuff. She had an island for getting dressed, right?
That's
like mirrors all round and like drawers everywhere. It was incredible. It was quite the party.
Just going back to Can I Get Open, I totally forgot to mention this as well. Sorry, but it's such a good song.
I'm still asleep on the back seat here, guys. I hope everyone appreciates that.
It features a young Jay-Z.
What?
Yeah,
I did not.
Jay-Z's in the song, right?
What?
That's a spit take.
What? Spit takes some drum. Seriously, Dangerlings, go and listen to this song, even if you're not into hip hop or you don't like Jay-Z. Well, Jay-Z back in the day was like an amazing lyricist.
Yeah.
And it's really fun to hear him. Sean Combs. Yeah, that's Puff Daddy, mate.
Yeah. Big up Sean. No, I'm just saying big up Sean Combs.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you were saying tweet us, Sean Combs.
You're thinking of Sean Corey Carter.
Oh yeah, all right. Sean Bean, all right.
That's really funny because also on the video feed we've got both Colin and Ross like trying to swig out of their mugs respectively, trying to out-smooze each other at the same time.
Now, as soon as you mentioned Sean Bean, I wake from my backseat slumber because that's someone I actually know about. So there we go.
Or Sean Connery.
Yeah, I've got.
Oh,
yeah,
R.I.P.
Big fan of the rap career of Sean Bean.
I used to drink in the same pubs as Sean.
I mean, they used to call him Sean Beans in that with a Z on the end, man.
Yeah. Back in the day. I used to like go out on Friday nights after work, and Sean Bean would just be in every bar that I went to. It was crazy. Wow. It was weird.
That's well, there is a funny story. Was that around the North London area? Colin?
That's correct. Yeah, Highgate.
There is a funny story in a theatre pub that I did a show in ages ago. They said, "Yeah, Sean Bean was in here the other week." I was like, "You kidding me?" He was like, "Yeah, he's in here drinking with a Playboy model, an Italian Playboy model." And some lads were like, "Oh yeah, Sean Bean, ooh, Sean Bean." He was like, "Aye, Sean Bean, aye, all right, lads." And they got a bit. He went outside for a cigarette. And they got a bit leery with him. And he got into a bit of a scuffle. One of them broke a glass on his arm. And he came back into the pub, and all the barmen were like, "Mr. Bean, Sean de Beans, do you want us to call you an ambulance?" He was like, "Aye, well, let me finish my pint first."
Young lads, like,
what a lad!
Got into a ruckus. They stabbed him and everything, and he just kind of kicked them, and they all went running. He went back in the pub and finished his pint. I love that story.
I like the idea that they would be like Mr. Bean, as if.
I mean, sure.
That way we've had a Caragor inspiration and a Beelzebub inspiration. In the same story.
Now, Dangerlings, safety first. Don't go out there and get stabbed and finish your pint. If you for any reason, just try and talk yourself out of a conversation, out of an argument.
Never get into a fight with Sean Bean.
Don't fight Sean Bean.
He's not an actor. He is his characters. This is the thing with Sean Bean, man. He lives it. Like,
why he gets killed in all his shows is to lull you into a false sense of security, so he can mess you up when he meets you in real life.
I have heard apparently he's a dude. It's really nice.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Watch the Supercut YouTube video of him constantly saying "bastard." That's a good one.
It's so satisfying.
Bastard. I have the whole collection of Sharp that I inherited from my godfather and I haven't watched yet. That is going to be that might be my next lockdown viewing.
There we go.
Terrific. Yeah, with the incredible Pete Postlethwaite in it.
Yes.
Takes Will. It's fantastic. Good viewing.
Yeah. Have we ever talked on the show about the time that Scott and I met Aidan Gillen in a pub in Ireland when we were climbing a mountain?
I'm not sure that we have.
So Aidan Gillen of Game of Thrones and many other things, really great actor, and this was at the height of Game of Thrones fame, and we just ran into it, and it was this thing of like our buddy Jerry who'd taken us to Ireland, taken us to his hometown, and we were just like, is Ireland small? Like, are we just going to meet every famous Irish person? He's like, it's not like that. Ireland's not like that. The first pub we walk into, there's one of the Game of Thrones cast.
It was amazing. It was a peak Irish experience. We climbed Mount Carrantoul in the day, came down, went to an Irish pub. There was a fiddle band playing, and an Irish actor was in there who was also as shit-faced as we were. It was brilliant. I was like, for ages, being like, guys, I'm going to talk to him. And they were like, no, don't be that dickhead. I'm not, guys. I'm going to be that dickhead. I'm going to be that dickhead. And then I finally went over. He was as drunk as we were. He couldn't see straight. He was still very charming and nice about it. And I think it was him who reminded us of the lethality of that exact mountain. We were like, it's quite dangerous to climb. We forgot about that.
Well, we'd forgotten, like, we'd been told, because it's a really dangerous mountain, and we'd been spent the thing being like, Jerry, I feel like this is quite a dangerous thing to be doing. He's like, it's fine. There's no problem with this. Come on, let's do it. I do it all the time. I do it when I'm drunk. Come on, let's climb it. And we did the mountain, came back down, and we were like, I don't feel like that was safe, but if you say it was, I guess we trust you. And then we meet Aidan Gillen, and he's just like, oh yeah, that's the one all those people died on last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was. It was that entire climb, as well as me and Dan and sort of Jerry like hiking up it, and Jerry's sister and her mate had just taken their like shopping bags because they literally do it every week. They blitzed it up there, and we were like cut back to us as the Lord of the Rings music playing. We're trying to scale the scree slope, the Devil's Ladder. They're already at the top. They're having a natter. It was a real moment. We were like, how are we ever going to make it back down?
Next week we should talk about when we all went up Scafell Pike. Tune in next week to hear our story about that.
Great call. These are all expeditions that I didn't go on. So thanks again, team. Nice one.
Colin.
Let's throw in the Whitstable trip, and we'll talk about that again. Let's make a full set of things we didn't take you on.
I've been to Whitstable so many times. Yeah.
Have you?
Well, we are not going to Whitstable. We are going to Quantium, everybody.
Look at that for a link.
The Danger Club. So last week, Beelzebub and Caragor spent an indeterminate amount of time, outside of time, working together to construct a ritual circle with the help of Worma Brainsprout, during which they went to space. They learned things. What do you reckon Caragor and Beelzebub did during this amount of time, out of time with each other?
Are you teeing this up for a Beelzebub and Caragor Starfinder like spin-off? Like Worma, the three of them. Yeah, I will. Caragor's got a slightly longer beard. It's peppery now with like grey in it as well. He's got a longer beard. The eye patch is different, and it's got a slightly different shape on it. Caragor's been changed by his time in the void.
How has Beelzebub been affected by his time away?
He's happier now, thinking that he's got a really good friend in Caragor. And that's about it, really. That's all this.
Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, we bought. Sorry, I forgot. We bonded and shit. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, over the corpse of an alien. Like we did that bit. It was hooked on a feeling, and we had that whole. They sung into a little rat alien. That bit happened.
Interesting.
Everyone just processes that image. Just like,
I think, yeah. But I mean, Beelzebub was quite competent, and that's the thing. Caragor's been a bit unsure about Beelzebub until this moment. Beelzebub was unerringly competent in that thing, which was kind of a surprise to Caragor. I guess seeing Beelzebub in isolation might be less scary than seeing him in a group setting. And Caragor's maybe thinking that his alchemical process and the crucible that Beelzebub is cooked in might need a lot of people around in order to be a dick, and maybe when he's by himself you can isolate him down to his individual components, perhaps.
I mean, I think that's a very long-winded way of saying Stockholm Syndrome.
Tremendous. Jam Jam has got a pen pal in this time. He's just been writing letters the whole time and hurling them into the void.
Is there some sort of Shoggoth somewhere with a little pen just writing back, being like, "Hello,
his name is Pablo. We talk about our holidays."
Pablo the Shoggoth.
Yeah,
that's it.
He's canon now.
Yeah,
that's the. He lived beyond. If we ever go back to the Dark Tapestry, Pablo will be a character.
But we are not
in the Dark Tapestry anymore. We are back in the Arcanarium with the away team, who have been back, paid up the bills, finished up your affairs in Absalom, and have returned ready for transport. You're kind of both the away team. You're both returning to the Arcanarium. But Velda, Fulton, Bubba, and Shania and Philippe will return back to the Arcanarium. How's Bubba feeling after running into Pumpy?
Do you know what? I think it was kind of a bit of closure actually for Bubba. He was. Sometimes you have those friends in your life that, you know, they're there for a reason and a season, and sometimes you still love them, you still want them to be well and stuff, but sometimes they're no longer people that you necessarily speak to for whatever reason. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think you brought a lot of truth to that as well, that little bit. Like, you know, I felt that, you know, you may have gone through that before.
Sometimes people just become too much. They, you know, and I'm sure that there's people out there that I've been friends with that are no longer friends with me, and they're like, oh, you know, Colin's not really my vibe anymore. And it's just sometimes that happens, doesn't it? You move on from friendships.
I think
you
quite
grow
often,
apart, and
especially sort of performance industry, you know, you get thrown together with a bunch of people. Maybe you're putting on a play, or you're doing a show, or you're doing whatever. You get thrown together, and you have to bond very quickly. All right, you know what I mean? Because when you're doing your performance, you have to trust each other when you're doing your performances together, and you know, you have to make it look like you may have known each other for a long time, or you know each other's idiosyncrasies. So you do a bunch of stuff, you know what I mean, to come together very quickly, and you know, you pick out the good bits, you know what I mean, the bits that you can enjoy, so that you can do that, you know. And then some of these people, you know, you will continue to be friends with, and some of them, you know, it's a sort of a burns brightly, quickly, but then is. Do you know what I mean? And I think, you know, and that happens a lot. There's some people who I'm like, wow, God, that, like, I had so much fun with them doing that thing. It was the best thing. They were the greatest person at that time. But then once it was over, it was like, well, I'm not sure that I've actually got. You know, I either don't have the space or the time, or we're not. You know what I mean? It's not going to work out outside of what we did, or, you know, whatever it can be. I think it, you know, it happens quite a lot. And like a proper, you know, when you were sort of doing the bit last week, it proper got me, because you know, there's a few people I could think of that I've kind of had that with as well, and it's you know,
guys, are you
part of life,
are you breaking up with me? I'm gonna
here we are.
No one's watched my camera feed, and guys,
it's fine.
So I think
you didn't burn that brightly, man.
Going back to what my kind of thought process turned into, I think Pumpy for Bubba was one of these people that kind of they started off really, really good friends, and like you say, it burned brightly for quite a short time, Drum, and I think since then Pumpy has just kind of got into a bunch of stuff that maybe Bubba would never get involved with, and she's the sort of person that can take from you so much, and there's only so much you can lend money and lend things to someone before you start realizing that they're never going to pay it back. And Pumpy's kind of mixed up in this stuff, and she intends to do so well. I think she intends to be a good person, but for some reason she never quite gets over that hurdle of paying people back and stuff, you know.
It's just spoons, innit? Spoons is what I apply to sometimes people, but a lot on like sort of interior wellness and mental health. Like, you start the day with a certain amount of spoons and you hand them out when you go to work, when you do a taxing thing, when something's stressful, dealing with a friend who might be going through something awful as well, like trying to help someone out who needs a bit of help. You spend your spoons, and at some point you come to only so many spoons that you have left at the end of the day. You might have to reserve one for yourself, or you might just need to get in bed. And if you run out of spoons, you run out of spoons. Some days you wake up, you don't have so many spoons. Some days you wake up, you've got loads of spoons. But you can get spoons back from other people, maybe, if they're nice to you, but you still only have a finite amount of spoons.
Yeah, Dan, where's my fucking spoons?
Get your spoons back, Ross.
I liked as well, because of course sometimes, I think we're all guilty of that, but we've had it before, because she mentioned the nostalgia. And people do when you go through tough times, maybe, or you start thinking, oh, can we go back to that? Actually, that was quite good. It's like, whereas of course, if you were in a better position and Bubba's coming from a position of strength, being like, nah, that's done. Like, I'm okay. That's sort of in the past, and that could be quite. That's a spoon right there, having to deal with that.
Yeah, I think genuinely wants Pumpy to be okay as well, you know. But his energy is. I think I use, Scott, when you use the spoons, I use battery chargers and battery drainers. And some people are battery chargers, some people are drainers in your life, and Pumpy for Bubbers is definitely a drainer of his battery, you know?
Yeah. And we would know firsthand as well, having watched Velda do his own draining of his own personality.
Yeah.
To it.
Oh, trainy Velda.
Still not on board with that. No.
We've all got
This has been quite a
friends.
big preamble, hasn't it?
It's been good. There's some good stuff, and we've all experienced it. We've all got friends who we love very much, but just occasionally will ask us for money. Patreon.com.
Oh my god! Jeez.
Let us be your Pumpy scripts. Let's pick things up with the Danger Club outside of Wormer Brainsprout's office. So those of you who've been away, you are as drunk as you were before. Like you've been drinking for most of the day.
Yeah, I feel like it's a different drunk, though. I feel like once we bumped into Pumpy Scripts, we went into more of a sort of a mournful kind of like, remember it. Do you know what I mean? Somber drunk rather than like, party drunk.
Also, they're supposed to go take 24 hours, so I presume we have gone to bed at some point. Like, we have not just 24 hours, otherwise...
Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting role play right now. This is sounds that I've made.
Talking our way through every encounter.
All kind of packed and ready to go for your... I'm kind of imagining the club there with like suitcases and like boarding the flight.
Yeah.
Waiting outside. As you open the door, Karagor and Beelzebub look tired. Like some time has gone on.
I like your new iPad.
The room is just... There are candles everywhere in different sconces and just bones and things hanging out. And there is a circle drawn in the middle of the room with loads of arcane symbols all around it. And it has a faint glow to the circle. Wormer says, "Everything is prepared."
Good. Well done to all of you. Karagor, how are you? You look different to me.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
Yeah,
Attacked narwhal shells on fire off the shoulder of Shellin. Sea beams glittering in the reflection of Beelzebub's jars. All those things will be lost in time. like yak's milk down the udder of a multicoloured yak. Time to go to next. Time to go. Considering that you have been through all of this for us, and you look tired and world weary, and you have become philosophical, which is weird for you. So I have brought you something. And she hands him a big bowl of yak's milk. I thought that maybe this could help make you feel better. And then she shyly walks off. I remember there was a time. There was a Karagor that drank this yak. Is that Karagor still here? Karagor uncorks it and drinks the entire yak's milk, and then corks the bottle again and goes, "Yes, yes, it is."
Did you bring one for me? Because I've been, working really hard as well. I could do with the yak's milk.
Who are you?
Yes, we brought you this, and Velda hands him his half-finished anal juice that he had left over from yesterday.
Carrying since yesterday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
He gulps.
Do you not remember, Beelzebub, when we passed that place that had the four-armed tiny things on it that looked like there was some kind of cute XP for another race, perhaps? Do you not remember they gave us some of this? Do you not remember they chittered? Some were green, some were blue.
Oh, yes.
Forearms.
Yes, I remember. Yes.
Remember, Beelzebub. Remember. For we're just memories haunting meat ghost skeletons. That's all we are.
Yes.
Yes, I must say I'm very surprised at how different you are, Karagor, and how remarkably similar you are to when you were Beelzebub. You don't seem at all different. Nothing at all.
Nope. All that's different is me and Karagor are the bestest of friends.
Oh, are you?
Bestest of friends. Bestest
Several
of friends.
timelines, This must be true in several timelines, for there is an infinite cosmos which is always expanding at a rapid rate. So inevitably, there must be an infinite variation of friends that are Caragor and Beelzebub, and an infinite variation of them which are mortal enemies, which have slain each other in a massive ego-death trance on several different worlds.
We got a stretch carriage last night. It was sick.
That's wicked. Did you have a bard?
Yes,
we had a bard. He played the bear and the. Oh God, I can't remember what the fuck it's called it.
He did play the bear and the nutsack, did he? Wasn't it?
Oh yeah, the bear and the nutsack.
What?
We played
I
it.
love that song.
And then,
I know. When we come back, we'll have to get another one.
The bear and the nutsack, they did a spinny game. They left all together and then they went in down a slippery vein. Nobody knows where the mudchute goes, but everybody knows that the nutsack goes crack, 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 crack. Nutsack, nutsack, nutsack.
do you know what? I wasn't sure. Is anyone else slightly uncomfortable when that bit of the verse comes along? That was
amazing.
It's my favourite
It's
thing.
only a song, Velda. It's only a song. Don't
I love
worry
hearing about
it.
nutsacks crack. I think it's the most wonderful sound. Cracks in nutsack. Oh.
I mean, it makes me cry like a sort of milked yak.
Oh yeah.
Drum got on a train and went past all the stops with words ending in "ain," and came, I could see it happening in his face. It was brilliant, just avoiding them all. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Gonna make up my own sentence.
Slippery vein. Is it a song about heroin? Is that? It's like Under the Bridge.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, all I know is it was completely different from whatever the fuck you sung.
I think it's a real free-for-all number, that one, isn't it? It's whatever you want it to be.
It's open to interpretation. Yeah.
All right.
Enough prattling. It is time to travel through the darkness.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, we are ready.
Gather in the circle.
That's what we paid for.
Velda scoops up Jin under his arm and just sort of hesitantly, with quite a large sideways look towards Beelzebub, steps into the circle.
Should I make sure that Philippe has all the bags? Everything, he's got them all. Carrying them all.
It's just weighed down with suitcases and bags.
And then she sort of orders him in. Go on.
Philippe sort of puts the bags down, stops, turns at the door where there is another monkey with a quiff, just kind of eyeing him suspiciously. Philippe walks up to him, takes a ring from his finger, puts it into the monkey's hand and closes it and nods to him. The other monkey looks down at it and then nods, turns to a group of other apes and gestures, and they all fall in line behind him. They nod respectfully to Philippe and then march off into the city. Philippe shrugs and returns back to pick up the bags, completing his story arc.
Verma, the final thing. The gold, which will be melted to provide the final part of the ritual. He holds out his hands.
What? The gold?
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, the gold.
I thought Caragor was covering this one. Is that right?
All the candles are burning. The circle is humming, and there's an awkward pause.
Oh.
Do you need it melted and poured into your hands, mate? That's a quick way of getting a gauntlet that you don't want.
No, we will place it. I will place it in the center of the circle where it will be vaporized by the magical energies, and then we will travel to Quantium on a path of gold.
So, Grandma Boots, she paid, what was it, 280 gold pieces?
I need 250.
You need 250 from us. Yeah, I mean, that was my next question.
Okay.
Thank you for answering that before I've even asked it.
Here's my 50, and luckily there are 6 of us, so we shouldn't have to pay 50 each, should we, Fulton and Beelzebub?
Okay.
Hang on, we worked this out, didn't we? It was like 87 something recurring.
My friends, don't worry. I will put...
And Beelzebub takes out a gold pouch and puts 200 in the centre.
Well.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Cool. Thanks.
Because you are my friends.
It explains why Beelzebub is so terribly geared.
Thanks, Booby. That's great.
His name is Beelzebub.
His
name is Beelzebub. And several other different dimensions as well.
Sorry, okay, Beelzebub.
So, we only have to pay 10 each, do we?
No, nothing now.
No, he's only put 200 down. We still need to put a 50.
But Caragor paid 50.
No, I didn't. I got it out.
Oh.
I saw a vast amount changing hands, and then I quickly reshuffled my change.
Okay.
All right, so it seems like a
there you go, there's 10 gold.
And Velda puts 10 gold in.
The room is just sort of shuddering lightly as the ritual magic builds.
By the way, while we're talking about money, I paid for the stretch carriage and the soggy biscuit last night. I'm just saying.
Hang on.
Okay.
I paid for the soggy biscuit.
Did we pay twice?
Hang on,
I also paid for the soggy biscuit.
We paid that place 3 times. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we were so drunk.
That was terrible.
You know what? I was quite drunk. I was. Do you remember the speech I gave to all of the little the urchins?
No.
Hey, no. You told them to overthrow the whole city, to claim it in your name.
No, you did that. You tried to tackle me in my speech, and no, again.
Sorry about this.
Oh yes,
there's your gold.
Yes. Okay, here you go.
We are all of us still paying for the soggy biscuit. Do not Google it. Now hold hands, and we will see how well the final preparations were. Beelzebub, please roll a craft check.
Ooh.
Can
I inspire courage?
No, you don't need to, mate. It's there's a 19 on the die.
Nice.
So that is 30.
This is
it's
excellent.
A 32.
Gone to 32, the same as last time. Very good. These rolls will affect his he's going to make the roll for the ritual, and basically your rolls will give modifiers to his roll based on how good they are. Caragor One Fang, please provide the coordinates for where we are traveling. Give me a survival check.
25.
Nice.
25. Very good. Then it is time for us to travel. He holds his hands up. The room shakes. The candles flare. Everything goes dark. The circle begins to hum and pulse and go until it builds, until the walls of the room seem to just drift away. They seem to just disappear and recede into the darkness until all you can see is the circle and all of you standing within it. Wormer continues to chant and raise his hands up. The gold in the center of the circle melts and just spreads out across until there's like a lattice work of just gold beneath you, which begins to glow. And he makes his roll. It's a natural 20. With the bonuses laid on from everyone else, there is a shuddering and a flash, and it means you land in exactly the point you were hoping to land. There is a shuddering, and suddenly you see the walls returning towards you. However, they're not the same walls that they were before. They're large, reddish stone walls with intricate carvings on them all over, of different scenes of adventure, of figures battling strange creatures, and they all kind of pull back around you, but don't pull in so close. You're in a much larger room now. And slowly you see shadows beginning to appear out of the shapes on the wall, and they begin to coalesce around you and begin to take form as you realize there are many people suddenly gathered all around you. Faintly in the distance you start to hear music playing in, a melodious tune kind of beginning to fade in as if from somewhere far, far away as it begins to drift in, and then candles spark up in some of the wall sconces around and begin to add illumination. The shadowy figures slowly begin to turn and look at you, and their forms coalesce into human forms. Humans, some half-elf, occasional dwarves begin to form around them. They are wearing flowing dress, lots of gold, lots of bright colours. Many of them are holding drinks, and then suddenly with a final shuddering flash, you find yourself, they all snap into reality, and you find that you are in you're in like a large ballroom with a waterfall at one side that is falling upwards, with some stairs behind it, a pair of statues, such of a man and a woman holding hands over the waterfall. There are people all around you, all of these people, they all just turn to look as you just appear in the middle of the room, and then a couple of them drop their glasses. Beelzebub, you recognize these people as Nexian. You can see a few people who appear to be archlords from the way that they are dressed. They all suddenly the circle just shudders and stops, and the gold disappears into the ground, and the circle just kind of flickers for a moment, and you're all left standing there. A man steps forward out of all and just looks you up and down.
Who the hell are you?
Fulton immediately just goes,
Caragor goes, aye, we're the Danger Club, and it's about time. Cosmic nihilism nailed it.
It is I, Beelzebub Bixby III. I have returned to my people.
Several of the people around go,
Oh, I see. Hello, everyone. Yeah, okay.
Oh, these are going to be some long episodes.
Strap yourselves in, day chillings. It's going to be a sound extravaganza.
does anyone else feel sick after the travelling?
Do we feel sick, Dan?
it is a bumpy ride. Yeah, it is you've basically been on a roller. You feel like you've been on a roller coaster.
I mean, I was feeling kind of okay until I realized that we are in Nex. Yeah. And what that means. But now I'm starting to feel a bit queasy. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, oh, cracky. It's coming on, isn't it? Oh my God.
Dan. Somebody fetch the host of the party. He's being sick and affair.
Dan, are we... can Beelzebub make a knowledge local to see where we are? If I
recognize a society, or if you've got a law skill associated with it.
Cool. That will be a society check. So that is 26.
A 26. You recognize this building. You have been here yourself when you were very young. This is Nexus House. It is the Pathfinder Lodge here in the city of Quantium. The only times that you have been here is for an event called the Princess Assembly, which is a high society ball that is held here once a year, where the great and the good of Nex come together to kind of raise money for charity and to keep this tradition alive. You get the feeling that maybe this is where you are.
Is that what's happening at the moment? This prince.
You suspect, like, that's the only time you've been kind of taken. You were maybe taken there by your parents when you were young, as like, come on, we have to go to the gala.
Yeah.
But this is the only time you ever remember going there. So if there are lots of people here, this looks like a party, and that's the only party you've ever been to in this building.
Cool. I relay this to the team.
Yes, fetch the Archlords. Oh, my father. We must speak right away.
A figure makes her way through the crowds. It is a halfling. She is covered in gold jewellery and is dressed in the Nexian style. As she approaches you, she kind of looks puzzled for a moment, and then says, surprisingly perhaps, in an Absalom, a sort of Avastani accent, "Hello. You appear to have appeared in the middle of my party."
I'm terribly sorry. These are my friends, the Danger Club. We didn't realize when we were transporting here that it would go into the center of this party. Sorry.
I did. I knew that. I pinpointed the coordinates. I didn't know there was a party going on at the time, but yeah, sorry about that. We didn't land on anyone and transform them into amorphic goo or anything, did we?
No, you landed in the middle of the cake. There is cake splattered all over the
do
circle.
you know what? I was wondering what this was, and I was just pondering why I was covered in this stuff, but it's cake. That's much better than what I thought.
Hey, to be honest, we always covered in something, to be honest, a lot of the time. Whether it's poo, wee, cake, blood, mud, cinnamon.
Yeah, apologies, I guess, for breaking your cake. We did not know there was a party going on. Would you like us to bake you a cake? Or?
Yes, bake me a cake. Please, Ambassador, says the halfling. We will see to it that your cake you are recompensed for your cake.
What is your name, young lady?
I am Vash Fatum Sebnet Sanderscott. I am the head of this particular lodge.
Yeah. Yes. My friend,
I'd say aside.
Do you think we should speak to the Pathfinders now?
Fella.
That wasn't that was the drinking team, I believe, came up with a proper plan for that, I imagine.
Yeah. Yes. The plan.
Oh, yeah.
You remember?
What did you come up with?
You remember the plan?
Well,
Let's basically,
we were going to see what
stretch
happened. The plan was
carriages?
to see what happened. So now that we're seeing what happened, I think the plan is to go visit.
yes.
improvise,
Yeah.
Exactly.
try and charm them, and if that doesn't work, then Fulton gets his axe out.
Yes. There was a very.
I guess for the moment, maybe Vash, it's a pleasure to meet you. Perhaps maybe we can go somewhere more privately to have a chat. We apologies for having interrupted the party. Is this, do you have an office or something we can go to?
She smiles and says, "Please, my name is Sednet. Vash Fatum is my title.
I'm sorry, I'm not aware of the ways. Vash Fatum
It means venture capital.
Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. Setnav. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. May we go to an office?
When
I think you best.
When Karagor hears that the drinking team spent 24 hours and they came up with a plan to improvise, Karagor starts muttering, "I see you," brings his hand up to his face and then sort of whispers, "No, newfound cosmic wisdom. Let it go. This has all happened before and it will happen again." And just breathes out.
Beelzebub
Goes with it.
Beelzebub looks at Karagor and nods and goes,
Yes, I see them too. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you want a moment? Should we just leave it to it?
There are no moments. Everything is an encapsulated moment of time. One moment stretches into 1,000 Velda. You of all people should know this.
1,000 Veldas.
No, it's not what I said. That's not what I said.
Veldas.
No. I wasn't turning you into a clone army.
I think that's a marvellous idea. Imagine
That's weird.
Imagine what 1,000 Veldas could do.
Probably not very
Dear
much.
Pablo, on my holiday I went to Nex. Karagor was strange. How is your dog?
Sebnet leads you out of there through the party. As you are going, those of you who are around, you kind of, as you're looking around, you notice the vomit on the floor and on Fulton's shoes just starts to flake away on the ground until it just sort of turns to dust and then seems to disappear. Likewise, the spilled cake all just seems to seep away into the floor and go. And as you're walking, you start to feel sort of occasional just little tugs on your clothing, and you look down and see just specks of dust disappearing, and your boots slowly becoming polished, sort of frayed hems
on your clothing start to just stitch themselves together as you're walking, as your clothes begin to repair and clean themselves as you walk, just by walking around in here.
Can I make a knowledge society again, or arcana to just like know what this is? Because I must have heard about it.
Arcana would be to know.
Whilst Beelzebub is doing that by checking through Arcana, Caragor takes a slightly more primitive approach and unbuttons several of his clothes to see if they will button themselves up during his walking around here.
Nice. They do not. They stay open to whatever degree you like. However, one of the loose buttons is sewn back on properly.
Okay. Right.
And your chest hair is neatly combed.
Is it like sort of feng shui, sort of zen combing, just in different ways?
17.
17. So yes, there does seem to be some kind of an enchantment here. You vaguely do remember something about this from before. This place seems to just, if you look around, everything in this place is spotless. Everything is completely clean.
Don't worry, my friend. This is a magical spell that, as you can see, it is clean around here. It will fix anything that is broken.
Yeah, has anyone seen Michael Fassbender around? I feel like his presence in the air somewhere.
Well, I'd just like to point out, because Bubba.
Yeah.
I fixed your banjolele thing.
You did?
I'm so glad I bothered to prepare mending this morning, because somebody didn't point out that we're coming to a place which literally mends everything just by default. So thanks for that.
Hey, Velda, have a look at Bubba's instrument. Let's have a look.
No, yes.
No, he's already done it.
No, he already fixed it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I fixed it.
I see.
I sat there with
sorry, I'm still so drunk.
I know.
Shania, do you want to break it again and then see if it fixes it?
I was just going to say, actually, we could just smash it again and see if it fixes itself.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
I'll tell you what, hold on. And Bubba takes his friendly claws and then rips Velda's like shirt across the front.
What the? What are you doing that for? That's not your banjo.
No, look, watch.
It slowly begins stitching itself back together.
Look at that.
Well, thanks for that. Yes.
See, now I repay the favour. Your clothes are fixed.
It's stitching, so it's not like good as new. There's now like just stitched clothes.
Thanks.
Shania gets a bit carried away, takes her scythe and like cuts a huge thing in her arm, going to see if it'll heal.
Blood just splatters around.
Oh my!
What are you doing?
It doesn't work that way, Shania. It's it's just for like sort of just clothes and not. It doesn't.
So now I'm going to be bleeding. I need to put some bandages on this then.
Yeah.
This place is funny. She wraps it up.
That's kind of cool, though, isn't it, Velda? You know, you forever now. When you wear the things that you're wearing, you'll have like a Bubba claw.
Brilliant.
You can think of me, and I'll think of you anytime I play this instrument.
That sounds like a fair exchange. Yes.
Beelzebub just stops the whatever her name is, the lady from
Sebnet.
Sebnet.
Yeah.
From
just hold on one moment.
I turn around to the rest of the Danger Club and go,
Now, last time we talked to the Pathfinders, we got in a spot of bother. Are we going in there to talk about...
No.
No.
We're not going to talk about the things that we're not going to talk about, okay? I think we are here to look at the book, so we're going to ask about that, yeah?
We just need to get to the place. But I mean, it'll likely turn some heads, so we are going to have to explain a bit of it. Be prepared for some questions.
I love questions. Right. Questions are my favourite.
Questions is what they call it on Silgar 4.
Oh, I see.
Yes, they do.
Been in space. Been in space, mate. In space.
Come then, she says. That you will find secrets are very hard to keep in Nex, but perhaps you will do better. Nonetheless, I am here to. If you are here on business from the Pathfinders, then I am here to help you as much as I am able to do. You are very welcome while you are here. This is the Princess Assembly. It is a social occasion that occurs every year when
the aristocracy of Nex descend upon this place and scheme and eat hors d'oeuvres and dance. I rather enjoy it, but I know that the servants rather resent having to put on an event for people who do not show us any attention during the rest of the year. But nonetheless, the lodge takes care of most of the catering for us, so it doesn't take too much work.
Well, that's quite fitting, actually, milady, because we've got another princess who just happened to join you. And then Caragor pushes Shania forward a little bit. It's Shania, princess of the Rain House. Dead fancy. So that's nice, isn't it? You guys can bond now.
Yeah. I am. She's sort of looking back, slightly confused, realizes what he's doing, and says,
Caragor beaming happily.
Yeah. I am also a princess. I need some assembly. Can you assemble me into being a princess?
How exciting! I've not had a princess of your people here before.
No, we don't often, because people don't like us.
It is we never really have any princesses themselves here at the party. It is named after Princess Ganje, and she gestures to one of the statues. So there are two statues. There's a man and a woman holding hands over a waterfall that flows upwards to the ceiling, and the stairs kind of curve around the statues and go upstairs further on. Everywhere, all of the walls of these buildings are carved with patterns of different telling different stories and things, and there are tapestries and various artworks hanging around. It is very lavishly decorated. Adolphus and Ganje were two of the very first Pathfinders. They established this lodge a long time ago when they settled down from their adventuring to become lovers. The rumours say that the statues react when true lovers pass by them, but I think that is probably just a story.
Caragor completely misses that and goes, Hang on a minute. So it's called the Princess Assembly.
Yes.
But there are no princesses here, and you don't actually do any manufacturing, in fact.
No, not an assembly, is it? People are assembled together.
Caragor, shakes his head and steps back. It's just so weird. Don't understand.
Caragor, what would you expect a bevy of princesses to assemble?
Some really nice stuff, maybe a piece for the nation that they're under, perhaps solve a few wars, maybe do a bit of the dancing like princesses would do.
Like some food banks, something like this, something that helps the poor, or maybe there are like traps that have been left around that have just been there for years and years and no one knows that they're there. They can untrap the traps, take them away, because they are dangerous.
You're expecting members
I know lots of children have lost legs to these.
To go out and give food to the poor and to disarm traps from dungeons that have been previously rather sloppily sort of cleared by adventurers.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's what stories I was taught. What do you expect from princesses?
Well, just sort of apathy and wealth and not doing much. I mean, maybe I'm just cynical. Maybe I'm just jaded. You are sexist motherfuckers. That's the problem. Okay, this is no. I just say this for apathy with the princess. No, the princesses are the ones that get things done. You know what happens when the kings that are out there? Okay, they sit on their throne and everyone says that they have made the world a better place. Guess who does the real stuff? It's the queens and the princesses, the people on their arms. They do all the work, and then the king just sits there in his big chair eating chicken and getting into a fat motherfucker. Fuck you! I mean, I'm fair. I don't particularly have a particular high view of any of the royalty, to be honest. All the ones I've ever heard of seem to be quite vapid and not do anything. The real people who do stuff are the people who, do stuff like.
So I think that's totally fair, Velda. Actually, I think. But if a bunch of princesses did get together, I bet you they do more stuff than a bunch of kings getting together. That's a bet on that. Yeah. I'm just going to put that out there.
Exactly. Shania high fives Caragor.
Hey, down with the royal family. Let's kill them all.
Wait. Fulton, I am royalty. Don't forget that I am royalty. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
So not
everyone apart from Shania's family. Let's kill them all.
Fulton, if this goes anything like the last many times you proposed this, then you'll just go off and get drunk somewhere whilst everyone else dies.
That's true, actually.
Anyway, I'm so sorry. We have managed to get ourselves caught in a tangent. Can you remind me your name? Sputnik? No, Septep.
Satnav.
Septic.
Making friends already. I tell you what, I want to play this action princess role-playing game in the worst way. Going through dungeons, disarming traps. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Just trying to gather food for the food bank. I mean, it would be tremendous, but that's
Like in a really nice dress the entire time.
Looking amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
Sebnet leads you upstairs, away from the party.
Past the statues.
Past the statues.
Shania keeps a close eye on the statues as they pass.
Give me a perception check, Shania.
All right, I will.
While we're passing that, is there like a buffet table as we walk past?
Oh yeah, there's plenty of hors d'oeuvres.
Can I grab some, like, I don't know, pigs in blankets?
famous Nexian delicacy.
Pigs in blankets. That's what princesses like to eat.
That's it. Yeah.
That was a 20.
A 20. Okay, so the statues don't seem to react at all. You go past them up the stairs and further on. And just as you're about to leave the room, you hear a giggle from behind you. You kind of look round. And where the statue is, you can't quite tell how it was. It's almost as if the statue of Princess Ganjay is looking back over her shoulder at you.
Interesting. Okay. Shania allows herself a little smile.
Okay.
It's a little giggle, and you look away, and then just underneath you, Jam's just muttering to himself and laughing.
To be honest, the first thing that came to my mind was this Jam. He's just walking along with his flesh dress, giggling away behind you.
Yeah.
He loves me not.
Pigs in blankets.
Pulling just bit fingers off the skin.
Loves me.
But his fingers off his skin, it was his face.
Yeah. No, he's got the whole body.
Oh my god.
Being trailed. I mean, a lot of it's kind of snapped off now. He's been trailing it around Absalom for a while.
Yeah.
Snapped off. That's not ever something I want referred to as skin just snapping off.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh god.
It's more like a big pork scratching just over and down. And you are led back. You are led upstairs. Sebnet says, "I'm sorry for the confusion here, but I know whatever your business is here in Nex, we will do our best to help you. Preshvarma Kalsel Elsper, he is one of our scribes. He is in charge of a lot of the knowledge within the city. Perhaps he could help you to get acquainted with it. I'm sure if you've come from Absalom, you will find Quantium to be a very, very different place to what you are used to. But in the meantime, we will bring you some tea, and you can settle in from your long journey. You must be very tired from it."
Yeah.
Sebnet.
Well, actually, the journey was rather swift, but quite brutal.
Yeah, it was quite instantaneous, to be honest.
Sebnet, do you know, have you seen my father at all?
Who is your father?
I announced myself when I was in the room. Beelzebub Bixby III. So his name's Beelzebub as well. The second.
Beelzebub Bixby III. You look up. You see an archlord of Nex, a human with swathed back hair, wearing fine robes, looking like an older version of Beelzebub. He has a tiny little man, but with like perfectly formed features, sitting on his shoulder, looking down at him, and his. "How dare you ever come back here? I said I had no son."
Beelzebub's just looking at the floor.
And that is where we leave it for tonight.
Oh!
Wowza.
Nice. Beelzebub's dad, eh?
Yeah.
Beelzebub's dad.
So here's a little thing, I said to Dan, I was like, oh yeah, he's kind of like Charles Dance. And that's what Dan came up with.
Played by Charles Dance.
Yeah.
Talking of fathers, I've got a father thing on my T-shirt. Actually, it says any man can be a father, but it takes a real man to be a daddy. And it's got a picture of what's his face on it. Anyway, that's by the by, really.
My name is Caragor One Fang, and I never lost fight to man nor beast, apart from the dead lady, apart from the demon dogs. I want to say thank you to all our patrons who've helped make this week's episode what it is, but especially thank you to our Dangerling of the Week, Stephanie Muniz. Thank you, Steph. To become a Dangerling of the Week, go to patreon.com/Danger Club Podcast. I see you, Steph. I see you.